All right, hey guys, Mr. Kyle, Myers Mathematics, and let's just jump into it. We are plotting the first in terms of each sequence, state whether the graphical evidence suggests that the sequence converges or diverges. So converges means that there is an answer, diverges means there is not an answer. We are looking to see if it levels off somewhere. If it levels off somewhere as we go to infinity, then it will converge to that number. And if it diverges, then it's, not going to do that. So we're looking to see if it's going to level off, basically. If there's a horizontal asymptote, then that's where it converges to. So they're pretty much the same thing. And I started to work on it, and then I kind of had an interruption, so I had to stop and make a new video. So I was like, you know what? I'll just kind of pick up where I left off, because there's a bunch of these, and I'll work out a few more so you can see how this works here. But it's going to be basically the 1/3, and then we're going to times the 1/3 by the 3 previous terms, which, if they were always consecutive terms, then it would always divide by 3, and then you'd always have a whole number, but it doesn't always work like that. And in fact, we end up with essentially adding very similar numerators, 22, 21, and 18, 7, 6, and 9, very similar numerators so far, and then each time it's a new power of 3 in the denominator, which is actually pretty similar to the previous one, number 19. So let's see. So the previous term is 61/27. The term before that was 22/9. If we triple that, that would be 66/27. And then 7/3, if we times that by 9, that would be 63/27. So 63/27. Again, all pretty similar numbers. 61, 66, 63, relatively close together. All over 27 and then times 3. So let's see what that adds up to. That's going to be 61, 66, 63. So that's going to be 1 plus 6 is 7. 7 plus 3 is 10. So that's going to carry. And then 6 plus 6 plus 6 is 18. Plus 1 more is 19. And then that's over 27 times 3, which would be 81. So I'm going to get 8 is 190 81s. And if I double that, if I double the 81, I would get 162. And then it's 162 plus almost 30, 28 more. 28 is pretty close to 27, so it would be about 27 81sts, which is about a third. So it's about 2.3 maybe, roughly 2.3, I want to say, if I had to guess. And then we'll do one more, because I don't really have space for a lot more of the. Well, maybe we'll go to 10, just a nice even 10. Although 9's my favorite number, but we'll see. So we'll do this. So it's going to be 1/3, and then it's going to be the previous. So that's going to be 190 81sts, and then plus. Okay, so the previous one. 61/27, so the numbers are getting harder and harder here. 6 times 3 is 18. 18, 3, 183. 183 81sts. And then the previous was the 22/9, right? So then, yeah, I guess the previous. Wow, this is a lot. 22/9, and then we want to times that by 9. So 22 times 9, that's going to end in 8, right? Because 22 times 9, 2 times 9 is 18. And then 18 again, but plus 1 more, so 19. 198 81sts. Okay. And then that's going to equal, let's see, 8 and 3 make 11. 1, 1, that's 10. 19. And then 19 plus 8 is going to be 27. 2, 3, 4, 5. Over, and then this is going to be 81 times 3, so that's going to be 243. Yikes. These numbers are getting crazy. 243. And that's probably going to be about 2, because it seems like we went to 2.3, then 2.4, then 2.2, 2.3. It seems like we're leveling off right around there. I'm not sure if I'm going to turn that. Actually, you know what? Let me do that. Do I have, where is this? pull this up here because I've got Desmos pulled up. So I'm going to actually just find out what that is on Desmos. Clear out the previous one that I did on here. Let's see what that comes out to be as a decimal, just so we can get those numbers. 571 over 243 is, yeah, 2.3, about 2.3. So it seems like we are leveling off at around 2.3. We'll do one more, and I'll just do this one in Desmos as well, I think. So that's going to be 1/3. So I'm just typing this into Desmos. 1/3 parentheses, and then the previous term plus the term before that, right? So plus the term before that, which was 190 over 81. 190 over 81. Plus the term before that, which was 61/27. And look at that, about 2.3 again. So yeah, it definitely seems like it's leveling off at around 2.3. I want to see what this is as a fraction, actually. But it comes out to about 2.3. So this is 1,690 over 729. Yikes. And that's about 2.3. So it's definitely leveling off at about 2.3 as we go out to infinity. And of course, if you kept going, then you could, keep getting the next and next and next and next. Let me know again. So I gave this option here for you guys on the last video. So don't be mad because I'm not gonna go all the way to 30 because it's just tedious at that point. You're just doing the same thing over and over and over again, ad nauseum. So just let me know though if you want to see what the explicit formula would look like, because if you know the explicit formula, then you can type it into Desmos or your graphing calculator, and then you can just all right, what would f of the next one would be 11, right? So what would f of 11 be? What would f of 12 be? And then it's a lot easier. You just type it in, and then it just spits out those numbers, and then you can write them out. If your teacher needs to see all the work, like all the stuff that I'm showing you here on this board, but they want to see that for the first 30 terms, then your teacher's crazy. And if it's drop week, then maybe find a new teacher. But hopefully they can just kind of, and actually if you know what the explicit formula is, then hopefully they'll be like, oh, well, that's impressive, and then they'll let you get away with not showing all the work. I don't know, but yeah, so it would be a lot, but it definitely does look like it's leveling off at 2.3. So we would say that the graphical evidence would suggest that the sequence converges, and it would converge to about 2.3 if you rounded to one decimal place. If you didn't, I'm sure it would be some sort of square root number of some kind. I don't know what 2.3, I don't know what that is. 2.2 is about what the square root of 5 is, but I don't know what 2.3 would be. I don't know. So there'd be a way to figure it out though. If you found out what the explicit formula is, then you could just figure out the limit as that goes to infinity, and then you would be able to figure out exactly what that number would be. So not really sure if that would come out to be a clean square root, like the square root of 5.1 or something, but it might be. I don't know. But anyways, hope that's been helpful. Let me know in the comments if you want to see the explicit formula for number 20. And I can show you what it would look like. I'll figure out the pattern and write it out or whatever. But yeah, I would say this one converges, and it looks like it converges to about 2.3. So hopefully that's been helpful, and you can catch the next videos in the sequence, the series on series, which right now we're just working on sequences, but eventually we will get into series. Series, by the way, is a sum of a sequence. So we're kind of in the pre-series phase of this unit. So yeah, and of course check out my 5 math mistakes everyone makes and how to avoid them. It's on my website, myersmathematics.com. Link is in the description below. Blessings, y'all.